Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to start this build here, ICM Model T, a 1913 Model T Speedster. I've had this quite some time. Got this from Hobby Nut Models, and I've been looking at it for a long time. Then I got the fire truck, the ICM fire truck. I believe it's also 1913 or right around there, 1914 actually. I'm looking at it, but I wanted to get this out and build it. My favorite era of automobiles is old spoke wheels and brass headlights, and you know, that kind of stuff just amazes me that how far we've come, I guess. And be neat to go back in those days and check it out. Don't know if I'd really want to stay back in those days. You know how we all think, oh, that would be awesome, until you're out there hoeing a garden by hand. You know, that would have made a difference. Maybe if you could be born into a rich family. Yeah, that's what we should do. But anyway, nevertheless, I'm going to start this. I've already got it out of the box. And there's not that many parts to it, but boy, are they beautiful. I went in when I got this kit, bagged everything separate. I should always do that. But these, like I say, it's not very many parts. I mean, you couldn't have a lot of parts. I mean, look at it. Didn't have a lot going on, but it's so well detailed. I'm just amazed at the quality of these kits. For instance, there's the cylinder head. If it will decide to, it's just so crisp and clean. There's the block. It's upside down. I mean, they're just beautiful kits. They are absolutely beautiful kits. And it is 1/24th scale, if I'm not, yep, 1/24th scale. It's got the white rubber tires. I asked before, why are the tires white? They say several replies, the natural color of rubber is kind of a white color, so they have to dye it to make it, you know, darker. So that was just why they were white. That's what I heard. But yeah, I'm gonna get started on this. As usual, glue some parts together. Now these kits come with 0 chrome on them, or on these would be brass. So this is sort of like your chrome tree without any chrome on it. So I'll have to, yep, it's just not going to, there it goes. I'll have to spray all that. Now one thing that I do struggle with the brass ones, I don't have, so like AK has chrome, All-Clad has chrome, they have polished aluminum. There's a chicken in the background if you can hear him crowing. But they don't have, that I've seen, polished brass. And I need polished brass. And I'm thinking maybe if I added just a little polished brass to some chrome or something like that, I'm going to have to test spray some. Because I don't get the bright chrome. If I have brass, AK brass, but it doesn't get that brightness. It's pretty dark. I've even sprayed it over the shiny black. So maybe if I put a little chrome in there, I don't know if you can mix that stuff. Probably will not work, but I'm gonna try it anyway. So anyway, all right, I'm gonna get started. Be right back. All right, so I got some progress done on this Model T Speedster. And so, all right, so with this is the first ICM kit that I've ever built or started to build, and they are very, very nice model kits. However, they have got some of the smallest parts that you could imagine on a model, some of the most tiny little things. And their plastic is a bit soft, so it's almost like you would think you were working with something that was 3D printed. The quality is like that good, but then it's like it's super soft. So what I've noticed is I have it takes a little longer for the plastic to harden after you use your extra thin Tamiya cement. it's like with regular styrene, when I say regular styrene, I mean like, you know, your common AMT Revell, that type of plastic. It seems to be more, it's a harder plastic, and it seems to bond much quicker. So but what I'm trying to somewhat build this a little bit modular. The way you would have to build this kit, it would take, like, paint everything separate. For instance, what I'm trying to get at is you could put everything together, like your chassis and your running gear and even your engine, and because it's pretty much all going to be black. I'm going to paint my car black. I'm not going to paint it green. I don't even like the way that looks, but anyway, I'm going to paint mine green. But so the radiator, I want to try and paint it brass. I'm going to try. I don't have anything that is like a polished brass look. If I can't get it to look polished brass, I'm going to all black. Even the headlights that are right here, they mount on the little, you know, your headlight holders right there. I had to go ahead and mount my radiator, and I was just going to tape off after I paint everything black. Now I'm going to tape off the radiator, and I was going to try to get it to be to paint it polished brass. I'm going to try first on my headlights. If I can't get anything that looks like polished brass, I'm not going to attempt it. But I keep getting away from what I'm trying to say. You have to have the radiator in place to get the front axle in place. And you have to have the radiator and axle in place to be able to then get these headlight brackets in place. Well, if you painted these things in my, you know, and this is me, maybe you guys that are more precise and experts at this stuff, but if you were to paint all these things separate and then try to glue them together, you would have a major, like, glue seam that would be very visible, because you would have to super glue it because it ought to be painted. You'd have a bad glue seam right here, and then these headlight brackets didn't fit the best. Okay, so there's one thing, they didn't fit worth a flip. I had to do a lot of trimming and all on the little bracket in there. So to try and do that and maybe super glue it in, it would leave one big mess, in my opinion. Again, this is all just for me. This isn't like if you did it that way, maybe it worked out perfect. So I just decided I'm going to go ahead and assemble as much of this thing as I can, and I'm going to paint it in a, like I say, like kind of modularly. For instance, this section here fits over this. This is going to be wood color. Well, the firewall is also wood color, so I decided, but in the instructions it shows you to mount the firewall onto the chassis, and then you mount your floor pans. Again, that's something that I would end up having the most awful glue. You would be able to see it because it takes a lot of test fitting. And so if you've already got it painted, it's kind of hard to test fit stuff, but it's also hard to test fit it if you can't what I'm getting at, and I think you probably already understand, it's to me it's going to be better for me to put a lot of this together and paint them in large pieces and then do detail painting. And I know some of you guys will absolutely hate the fact that the engine is already in there and it would be harder to detail paint. Well, it is what it is. It's just the complexity of this little kit, which is kind of an oxymoron because it's a Model T. How complex could it be? The way they have you build it is almost an impossible feat for me to do it after it's painted and it looked good. So I'm going to try my best to paint it all together, not all together, but in larger pieces, and then go in there and detail paint what I can. But as far as a model, it is a fine piece of plastic. It is a very nice. Their stuff is so clean. There's a little cleanup you have to do, but then, like I said, the plastic is really soft. So when you try to trim or clean up, like this radiator hose here, so when you cut it off the tree, you got to clean that up. Well, the plastic is so soft, you have to be really careful not to gouge anything out, but you can do it. And like these, okay, so here's the steering wheel right here. You have to glue that intersection to the actual rim. Well, again, the rim is going to be, it's going to be wood. The center would be like brass. If you think that you can paint that, because see, you had to glue each little I'm trying to get my camera where it's supposed to be. I can't. Right here, this is the inner part is separate. There's little tabs that you would glue that into. If you painted this separate from that and then tried to glue it in there, you're going to see the glue. There's just no way around it. And so I just went in and glued it together. I'll paint the whole darn thing brass and then go back and paint my rim wood. So that kind of thing is a little bit of a head scratcher because of the complexity, or the what's another good word, because of the very intricate way they've made this. Makes it a little bit difficult, in my opinion, to do it and make it look good after everything's painted and then put it together separately. So this is what I'm going to do. I got my firewall to where it will now all be one piece. And then what you have to watch out with old cars like this that have the opening hood from the side, you have a gap, right? So you don't want the gap to be too wide where your hood goes. It can be a little bit too narrow, and then you can adjust your hood with sandpaper. But if it's too wide, you can't add to the hood. So having this where you can test fit everything before paint is the way I'm going to do it. And then go in there and do some detail painting. But anyway, sorry to rant and ramble. I'm going to do a few more things and then get some black paint on here, and I'll be right back. Alright, got some painting done on the 1913 Model T Speedster. So I attempted what I would call polished brass. Get this out so to focus on it. So what I did, and it looks pretty good. That's not gold, that's brass. But I shot a, let's see, Tamiya gloss silver, and then I shot AK brass over that, and then I shot Tamiya clear over it. So it got a little gloss to it, like it's polished. I will detail paint the cap. But this tank on the car, I didn't go with any of the paint schemes. But anyway, after the camera cut out again, I've got to get a bigger memory card. I have trouble with that sometimes. That's what I did. I silver base, and then I sprayed the brass over it, and then I cleared it to give that shine. And yes, I've got to paint the grill now, which is going to be so fun. So I got all this painted black. This whole thing's painted black. Actually, you can see here on the chassis, or I'm sorry, on the interior part, I painted every darn thing black. I was like, I'm just going to do the whole thing black. I'll go in here and detail paint what I've got to detail paint. It'll look good. But I was going with more of a black theme. They had on the Speedster box, let me grab it real fast, it's over here. They had sort of a two-tone deal going, and it's green and all this stuff. I didn't like that. So I'm going with like all black racer, except for the brass. My wheels are black. They're painted gloss, Tamiya gloss black. Seats are black. But the tank on mine is going to be brass, along with the brass parts. And on this one, it doesn't have like the little lanterns, because on they got this, and you kind of have to use the lanterns. They mount right here on the sides. You see those little mounts? Well, there's cutouts on the firewall, so if you don't use it, you got that hole. So I had to use it. I would have not used them and gone with this, the look of more of a clean racer. But oh well, we got some lights going on it. But yeah, so with the, where was I going with that? because I painted, the last video anyway, the last segment, so I told you I had to, oh man, I think my finger was over the mic, sorry about that, but I had to put all this stuff together, and then I was like, I'll just tape off the grill and paint it, so I got to put a coat of silver on the grill. And by the way, this was one beast of a taping off job. I mean, it looks horrible, but it's doing the job. But I'll spray some silver and then some AK brass, and then I will go back in the center and black that out like it's supposed to be right there. But anyway, it's gonna look nice, and I'm gonna get back to work on this, and after I get some paint on there, I'll probably wrap this video up and see what it looks like. Hope I don't spray through the paper anywhere and get brass or silver all over my paint job, but oh well, if it does, it does. All right, be right back. All right, well, I got the grill painted, and I think it looks pretty good, even though it doesn't look like what I was hoping it would look like. It does look pretty good. So I I taped off, take this off here. I taped off everything except the grill, or the radiator rather, and painted it silver, and then with AK brass, and then I cleared it because the AK brass is not shiny, but polished brass has shine to it. So it does sort of. I'm not there yet with the polished brass stuff. Working on it, trying to find trying to find this stuff out. Thankfully, my friend Mark Batson over at HobbyDude 007, or the HobbyDude 007 channel, he's also in search for a polished brass paint that we can use. He's doing some going to do some experimenting with some spray cans. He's probably going to decant them, I would think. I don't know, maybe he won't, but anyway, if you hadn't already checked out Mark's channel, go over to HobbyDude 007, Mark Batson. I'll actually link Mark in the description of the video, and you go over there and check him out as well, and you'll learn quite a bit. He is a master modeler, and he'll probably laugh when he hears me say that, but he truly is. All right, one thing that I would warn you about, if you have an Ace Hardware around and you buy Ace Hardware tape, painter's tape, do not tape your models with it. I've used the blue, anyway, it's over behind me. It's about the roll's about gone. This other painter's tape's quite wide. It says blue on it, but it's got green letters. It says blue. The tape is blue. It works great. This stuff, if you get double the glue side together, like duct tape, you can't get it apart. This stuff was like, I'm gonna break this model trying to get this thing out. I had it wrapped up like a Christmas present too. But anyway, it did great. I did get the tape off without ripping anything loose. So that's going to look nice. I'm going to go into the radiator, and I will paint the center part black and try to leave the forward portion of it brass, because that's how it looks here, and I think, man, that looks really cool. So hopefully it'll work out. And again, I've already showed you, but my headlights, they're all painted. Steering wheel, I will paint the rim of the steering wheel wood. The tank back there was also polished brass. And then I was starting to do a little detail painting on the, oh, this will never focus. Never in a million years it's going to focus. The, let's see, there we go. The mirror, or the windshield holder, and the, your timing, all that stuff that turns on the steering column. And then I noticed when I painted that, I was like, dang, that looks more like polished brass than the tank looks like polished brass, and all that is just Tester's gold paint. So I don't know, I haven't tried to shoot any Tester's gold paint. I don't think it's not a gloss, but once I got to doing that, I was like, It's not going to focus on. There it is. I was like, man, that, I think it has a better brass appearance. But maybe it's too gold. I don't know. If you guys know the perfect polished brass paint, please let me know. And I'll let Mark know. And we can stop searching for this stuff if you can help us find that. But anyway, I'm just rambling on, guys. I'm going to end this video here. It's coming along. It's a cool little kit. It's so detailed. I don't know if I already mentioned this, because when I make a video like this, the segments could be days, could be a week apart. But the other night on our Patreon live stream, we have a Patreon live stream. Try to have them once a month. Hasn't worked out as much as I want, but anyway, we often get together, the Patreon members, and we get on I have a private live stream. We'll get on there and we just talk for, usually it's hours. But my friend Chris Martin lives up in Canada. We were on there, we were all talking, and I was telling these guys, I was like, this kit is so detailed. It is like almost overly detailed. And some of the parts are so tiny that they're hard to even attach because they're so small. And Chris said something that I didn't even think about. And now if you build armor or whatever, I don't think this would be an offensive statement, but he said that's what you get when an armor company starts to build automobiles, models. Because ICM, as far as I know, they've built a lot of armor stuff. And in your armor kits, you'll have intricate little details with your tanks and things like that. You'll just have the most intricate details. And Chris mentioned that. I was like, that makes sense, because this kit has some of the smallest little details that I've ever seen. But quite frankly, it becomes a little difficult to build because they're that small. So that's why I've had to sort of kind of glue a lot of stuff together and then paint it, because there's no darn way that I could put some of these small parts together with glue after painting them and you not see the glue. So that's why I'm going to try and do a lot of hand detail painting. I think it's going to turn out just as good. But Chris, I think Chris is right. ICM known for making other things other than not automobiles. They've made automobiles, but more in the military type thing. Seems to have a lot more details in those, and they've just carried that right over into the to their Model Ts and the other cars that they're going. I heard that they're going to start making a model. Yeah, I did. I saw it. Chris flashed it up on our live stream. They're going to start making a Model A. So that'd be a cool kit. But anyway, just be ready with the tweezers, because these babies have got some small little parts. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I know this video has dragged on now, and I'm just rambling and talking, but hey, you guys are the ones I talk to, so it's fun. Anyway, this is going to be a cool kit. I'm glad that I went with a paint scheme outside of the box. I'm usually a box art type of builder. Usually they get it right, but I don't really like that. I know that was a unique paint job probably for back then and all. It was probably like the coolest car ever. But I like traditional. I want to go with black. It's still going to be a racer. I'm going to try and dirty up the little white tires a little bit, because most of them didn't drive on paved roads back then. They're driving on dirt roads. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get it together. There's not a whole lot to do. Just detail paint it and glue it together, and it's going to look cool. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you. Go check out Hobby Nut Models. That's where this model kit came from. HobbyNutModels.com. Go check out Mark's inventory. Linked in the description below. Go grab yourself a kit or some paint. You know the drill. Go check out Mark's inventory over there. He's got some good stuff. Also to my Facebook participants, you guys are great. Keep it going. And to my Patreon members, you guys are wonderful. Thank you so much. But more importantly, you guys that are on the back side of this, on the other side, on this side of the lens, guys, thank you so much. Actually, you're not on this side of the lens. You're on. Well, I can't do it because you can't see me pointing from this side. But anyway, you're watching it from this side. I appreciate you guys. You're such a great encouragement to me. Such a great support group. Thank you so much for all you do for me. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you to all of you guys. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And next video, this thing will be built and it'll be cool. And I can't wait. All right, guys, take care. See you later. Bye.